One of the things that we really want to impress upon you in this course is that you have to take the medium that you're working in on its own terms. You have to recognize that it has a certain natural shape, a way that it wants to behave. And you have to know which way it can bend and how far you can push it before it snaps. What are the things that come naturally to audio, where the medium is working with you and not against you? We're gonna get into the strengths of audio dramas right now. Let's say that you're writing a story about a mutant crocodile monster that's escaped into the sewers of New York City. How hard would it be to convey that through audio storytelling? Surprisingly, I don't think it'd be too hard. Not too hard at all. First of all, it's an extreme situation, one which the characters in the world have probably never encountered before. And they're likely to, talk about it. It wouldn't seem that strange or hackneyed to have characters going, "I'm sorry, did you just say that there's an escaped mutant crocodile monster in the sewers beneath New York City?" Why, yes, I did just say that there's an escaped mutant crocodile monster in the sewers beneath New York City. On top of that, once you have the information in your head, once you've been informed that somewhere in this story there's a crocodile monster hanging out, it's easy to present the giant reptilian monster through sound effects. Because at that point, the sound effects are just confirming the presence of something the audience already knows is coming. Especially when it's something that's larger than life and which can really capture the imagination. If you have the characters, say, going through the sewers, and you've got some sound effects going on, you've got some good environmentals, you can really kind of hear the sewer around you. And then, suddenly, without any warning, you get... You're there. All right, let's try another one. Let's say that you have 4 characters who are all in a room together. Suddenly, without any warning, one of them raises a gun and points at another character. This one is trickier. Not impossible, but definitely a more challenging ask than our previous case. The presence of the gun itself is manageable. You can certainly have a sound effect, something like and that'll alert people that there's a gun present. But getting people to understand that it's pointed at someone and who it's pointed at, that's much trickier. You could have the characters talk about it, but it requires a deft touch. You can't just have the characters go, "Oh my God, you're pointing a gun at me." Yes, I am pointing a gun at you. You see why that doesn't work, right? It feels forced. Like the line is aimed at the audience rather than at the other characters in the scene. So you'd have to finesse it to make it work within the context of what's happening. The line would have to be something along the lines of, "Bob, buddy, pal, a friend of friends, why are you pointing a gun at me?" That works well enough, but it takes a bit more thought to get there. You see why you're getting a little bit of friction between the story you're trying to tell and what the medium of audio wants to do, right? One last example. Say that you're telling a story where you need to have someone sitting in a chair, silently waiting for someone to walk through a door so that they can surprise them. How would you do that without any visuals? Yeah, there really isn't a great solution there. Audio storytelling has many strengths and weaknesses. Not all audio fictions are made equal, and not all subject matters are equally well suited to the world of audio fiction. Before you decide what story you're going to be telling through audio, it's probably worth thinking for a moment about what stories lean into audio fiction's peculiar storytelling quirks and use them to their advantage. There's all kinds of stories that really utilize the strengths of audio. If we try to cover all of them, well, we'd be here for a really long time. But there's 3 big umbrellas that I want to draw your attention towards. First, audio is really good at storytelling that actively engages the audience's imagination, particularly around feelings of wonder or magic or far-off, distant locales. There's a reason why so many fantasy and science fiction stories particularly ones that revolve around familiar tropes, mythical beings, or larger-than-life situations, find a home in audio fiction. The medium already relies on the audience's imagination to create the world of the story and to flesh out the actions and the characters. And stories that go beyond what we see in ordinary life let us exercise our creative capabilities as listeners, while also making the fantastical and the distant feel very personal to us. Second, stories that use suspense, in particular, suspense where the tension is coming from not having a full understanding of what is happening in a situation, they thrive on the radio. Let's go back to our earlier example about the gun being pointed at someone. Imagine that the story isn't being told from within the room, but from the perspective of someone standing right outside the room, listening in. Imagine the tension from that person not being able to tell what is happening in the room. Oh God, what was that sound? Was that a gun? It kind of sounded like a gun. Oh my God, was that a gunshot? Audio is a medium that withholds information. It only lets you access the exact bits and pieces of a scene you've been given access to, and nothing else. So stories about people working to get more information, trying to get past the incompleteness of their understanding of a situation, those will usually go over pretty well in audio. In general, it's always good to ask yourself, is this story putting the audience in a similar position to what the characters are going through? If the answer is, at least on some level, yes, chances are you've got something that's going to be pretty effective. And finally, third, consider why comedy and horror are arguably the two most popular genres in the field of audio fiction. I'd argue that it's because these are modes of storytelling which benefit from active listening. Getting to experience a scene through your ears is a constant process of discovery, of small surprises and turns that build your understanding of the scene. And that kind of experience builds really well to the two most visceral human reactions: the laugh and the scare. There's a lot more that we could say about what kinds of stories work well in audio fiction, but this is a good starting place, at least for now. In general, just take a second before you start writing and see if you can answer one very maybe one kinda simple question. What is it about this story that makes me think it'll be better in audio than in any other medium?
Hey everybody, Zach Valenti here. This was a sample lesson from Audio Drama Storytelling, a new online course produced by Sarah Shackett, Gabriel Urbina, and myself, where we explore how to understand and create compelling fiction in the world of audio. If you'd like to get more information about the course, you can do that by heading to course.fearofpublicshame.com. Click here to go there, click here for more sample videos from the course, and click here to subscribe for more videos on this channel. And please let us know what you think about this video in the comments below or by hitting that like button. You can also find a link for a PDF transcript of this video in the description. Thanks for watching.